Family, this is part 2 of the Mike Tyson and Trevor Berbick. So Mike Tyson gets an opportunity at the age of 20 to face Trevor Berbick. And I was at that fight, like I stated to you. I was in the 5th row of that fight. And it was the most anticipated fight that I've been at. And I got to tell you, Mike Tyson put on a performance. He was 20 years old. He broke a record. Floyd Patterson was 21. But Floyd Patterson had won a unification belt. He was undisputed. Mike Tyson won a portion of that title, which was the WB. So that's a factor to take in. But here you have Trevor Berbick laying on his side. This is after he'd been hit with a crushes left hook. You can see the torque in Mike Tyson's body after he delivered that punch. He put everything behind it. That's a very powerful stance after a punch has been delivered. Mike Tyson follows up with a left hook after he throws the punch and lands with Trevor Berbick. And you can see leaning forward, you can see the muscles in his legs. All the energy had exploded from his legs to his shoulder. His shoulder will snap and he would untorque all the energy to his fists. It would land on the jaw of Trevor Berbick and it would be bye-bye time to Trevor Berbick. He would never be able to recover from a punch like that. Like I said, Mike Tyson was just a phenomenon. Now here you have Michael Spinks and Butch Lewis. They're looking on. And they realize, oh boy, we got to make other plans. Because what they want to do is step aside. And this is what Rocky Marciano did. They want to step aside, clear the landscape, see who's still standing. And then, their plans are to come back in. But Mike Tyson never went anywhere. That was the problem. And eventually, Michael Spinks would have to face Mike Tyson. It was a good strategy. It didn't quite work out the way Butch Lewis and Michael Spinks had predicted. They did get a good payday when they did fight. I'll show you that a little later on in this series. Now let's take a look at this punch here. Mike Tyson puts everything. That's exactly where that punch is supposed to land. If you look at Mike Tyson's elbow, it's where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be where the chin is of his opponent. By the time the punch is delivered, he's looking straight into the eyes of his opponent. That's the only time you should be looking at the opponent's eyes, is after you tag him. It's going to tell you exactly what's on his mind. And this is a well-executed punch. Beautifully thrown by Mike Tyson. As you look once again, Mike Tyson looks directly at his opponent as soon as that punch lands. He wants to see the response of his opponent. He is prepared to come back with a second punch if necessary. And knowing Mike Tyson, he will come back with a second punch, and he did. If you take a look at this left hook, right on the temple of Trevor Berbick, and that was the punch that did him in. All of the torque has been landed right there in the temple. And that would disrupt your equilibrium. That's the reason why Trevor Berbick couldn't stand up, because he didn't know he was standing up. He didn't understand what was happening because the brain is not registered. It's not telling the mind what needs to be done. And I'm just showing you some photos here. But that was some night in Las Vegas. And I got to see Mike Tyson become the youngest heavyweight champion of this time. Now, like I said, Floyd Patterson was 21, but he won the undisputed. It was only one belt. Mike Tyson had a portion of that belt. But you have to look at it this way also. Had it been one belt, only one belt, as Floyd Patterson had, Mike Tyson still would have been the youngest. So you have to give Mike Tyson the credit for being the youngest heavyweight champion in boxing history. And that's why he's in the Boxing Hall of Fame, the youngest heavyweight. And he also had, I believe it was 21 knockouts in the first round, or close to it. So that helped him. But Mike Tyson was a phenomenal fighter. And that's him and Trevor Berbick. Now, I hate to put Trevor Berbick on blast like this, RIP to him. But take a look at the face. Take a look at the eyes. Take a look at the expression on Trevor Berbick's face. He has absolutely no idea. He's completely short-circuited. Doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know how to get up. If he's used his arms to push his body up or his legs to push his body up, he doesn't know what to do because his brain is completely fried, as we call it in boxing. He knows he has to get up, but doesn't know how. Once again, take a look at Trevor Berbick. His eyes, he doesn't know where he is. He doesn't even know he was hit with a punch. He doesn't understand how he got down there. He just knows that he has to get up. He just doesn't know how to get himself up. He doesn't know what body part to help push him up. It's just like a newborn baby. Once again, Trevor Berbick is completely out of his mind before he hits that canvas. Now at this point, Trevor Berbick had entertained the crowd enough. Mills Lane had seen enough, and he steps in and said, that's it, it's all over. Mike Tyson is now the brand new heavyweight champion, and he was on his way to unifying the division. Don King wants to be a part of that, so he grabs Mike Tyson, and he sees a lot of money in the bank. And before that fight had ended, he was on the corner of Trevor Berbick, and he walks out with Mike Tyson. Famous words of Don King, only in America. So what's next for Mike Tyson? As we go through his career, we'll find out. We'll see. But Mike Tyson could have possibly been heavyweight champion for 10 years because there was nobody in the horizon that would have stopped that from happening. James Buster Douglas had quit in a fight with Tony Tucker for the IBF version of the heavyweight championship belt. Tony Tucker became the IBF champion, and he had to face eventually Mike Tyson. We'll get to that. But this is Scrapbook Boxing Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. All great fights and all great fighters will never be forgotten on my channel. I am Mike Tyson. What could have been, we'll never know. But it was a great ride watching Mike Tyson's career. I saw the majority of his fights in person. A lot of them were upstate New York, Atlantic City, and I saw a few of them in Las Vegas. And I got to tell you, it was a thrill watching Mike Tyson grow up in the boxing ring. Thanks to my subscribers for my support, their support and my support as well. I'm trying to help you understand and figure out some of these fighters. Salute.